Well, hey everybody, it's Tom here. Welcome back to the shop. So as you saw in the title, today's video is we're going to be making one of these big bad boys here, DA size tool holders. This is actually an Awarus. It's a name brand, but you know, nothing wrong with the no-name import ones if you can score them. These rascals right here cost you about $140, no name, and it's about $200 if you want to have the Awarus name on it. So that's why we're going to make one. We're going to save some money. So let's get over to the work table and get a plan of attack. I've always been a big advocate of just buying tool holders instead of making them, because I just didn't see the point. I mean, your AXA holders, I mean, you can pick up just a normal Chinese import one for like $12. I mean, you know, the time it takes to make one, I mean, you're way over the $12 mark, you know. Even if you're lucky that you have the steel. If you got to buy the steel, then, you know, you're just behind the 8 ball, I think. I mean, the BXA, I just checked prices. You can get them for $14, CXA, $19. And even the big CAs that I use on my Monarch, they only cost 33 bucks each. So, I mean, those are still pretty cost effective to buy them, you know. So, like I said, by the time you make you a dovetail, of course, get it to dimensions to begin with, cut you a slot, drill and tap holes, and you gotta buy your grub screws, and you gotta buy your threaded rod. If you can pick up thumb wheels, if not, then you gotta make them. So, I mean, and then after everything's said and done, you know, over here in the East Coast with the humidity, we've got to, you know, tool black them so they don't rust. So, you know, it just doesn't make sense to make them in those sizes. Now, the price goes from CA to DA, like I said, about $140-ish for a no-name brand. So the price jumps $100 from CA to DA. So now, you know, I think it's cost effective to make them. Got this chunk of 1045 just hanging out, and it is screaming to turn into a tool holder, because look at this. I mean, do the dimensions get any better than that, folks? Wow. So, you know, all I gotta do is basically cut off that, I think about an inch, yeah, an inch, you know, or 25 mil. So that's what we're gonna do. I think what I'll probably do is go ahead, make sure we're in frame, is cut about 900 thou off of this in the bandsaw, and then we'll clean the rest of it up with the shaper, get a little shaper action, get some I guess to be the first chips on the new paint job, and then we can get over to the mill and get this dovetail cut. I can use one of Randy Richards' dovetail cutters that I got from him, and then of course mill a slot, and then drill and tap some holes. This size here is 9/16/18. I've got some threaded rod, and I do have some nuts that I got from McMaster Car. So we're good there. We'll have to make thumb wheels. It'll be a fun little project. Some simple milling, a little bit of shaper action, drilling and tapping. So let's get to it. Alrighty, off the bandsaw, we are over here at the shaper. It'll be the first chips with the new paint job. So we'll just go ahead and get this block down to size. What's nice is, you know, these dimensions aren't critical, so long as we're close, that it will be fine. I'm just going to do a 30 thou cleanup pass, and we'll go from there. Got everything set up, and I'll move you guys around and get you decent shots. Doing a 30 thou step over. That's not going to be enough to clean it up, is it? Alright, hang on, let's take a little more. Alright, much better. Taking another 40 thou off, and then we'll put a finishing tool in there and get that surface cleaned up. And we'll flip it over and get the other side, bring it down to 2.500. Not sure how well the camera is going to pick it up, but actually the surface finish is pretty decent for that roughing tool. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is and not worry about putting in a finishing tool, because we have to cut out, you know, the majority of this right here for the dovetail anyways. So I think that's good to go. And I just measured it from this point here and this point here, and there's a thousandths difference. So that's pretty good for this old machine. Now I'm going to do is just go ahead and flip the block over, and we'll get the other side, you know, cleaned up, and we'll get her down to dimension. Hopefully this will be the final pass. 53 thousandths depth of cut. And this 1045 seems to like a little bit of oil on it for a better finish. I did decrease the step over from 30 thou to 20 thou. See if I... Let's see how we did for this old girl. Like I said, this isn't critical. Anything close to 2.500 would be good. And what we got? 2.4985. So a thou and a half there. So you guys can read it. Yeah. Oh, that's actually moved. Let me try this side. Well, we're getting, I'll take that. 2.500 and 5/10. Let me try this one again just to see. Just curious how good this old shaper is. 2.499. Like I said, it was cutting about 1 thou off over 6 inches, so that's just a little bit of wear. All right, cool. I'll take it. Let's get this thing out, and I guess we'll get over to the mill. Either cut the dovetail first or the slot. Not sure yet. Over here at the Abene mill, I'm just going to clean the ends up. I already had this face mill in, so we'll just knock it out with this carbide inserted. I think it's 5 insert face mill. Trying an LED light. See how it looks on camera is okay. If we're going to do playback, it's not too bright or washing things out. Okay, so we are set up over here at the Abene mill. Figured I'd give it a shot over here. It'd be easier to do it over there on the Excello turret mill because it's got a DRO. But you know, this machine is more rigid, got more horsepower, so I figured I'll give it a shot. We'll have to use you know, the dials and dial indicators. So time to cut the dovetail. I'm centered up. Got a 1-inch rougher in here. Dial down about 300 thou. And we'll just basically chew out this real estate. I'm gonna have to run mist coolant, so might have to move you guys back. Hopefully get you some decent video, but I'll actually move you back a little more here, and we'll see how she likes it. See if I can get you in there, but just finished the second pass, and we're at 599. I was shooting for 600 thou, so not bad. We'll take that. So I have moved over 1/2 inch. We're still at depth of 600 thou or 599. So we'll start, you know, chewing our way towards the edge of the dovetail where we need to start cutting the dovetail. Just chewing out the other side now. Just wrapped up getting the slot cut. Not too bad. Our dimensions were a little bit big. We missed it by about 20 thou. Don't know if it was a combination of me and the machine, you know, the backlash, or what it is, but you know, this isn't a critical part. Just trying to get some time on the machine. Don't know if it's wearing the ways, you know, don't know. Anyways, it is about dinner time, so I'm gonna wrap it up and we'll pick this up tomorrow and we'll start cutting the dovetail. Well, it's the next day and it is a hot one. I guess the whole East Coast has experienced a heat wave, because normally it'd be like 75 degrees here in middle of May, and it's gonna make 90 today. So I'm gonna be running one of the ceiling fans. So if the audio picks it up a little bit, I apologize in advance. So we are set up over here at the Excello turret mill. It's just way easier to cut this dovetail using a DRO. So that's what we're going to do. I have already found my depth. Just used a piece of paper. So we're up about 5 thou from the bottom, and we are in the center of that channel right now. And if we come over here, let me get you guys in frame. So I'm going to move this up here so I can get you in here. I'll tell you what, let's move sideways so we're in the light. So, you know, most of you guys know how to measure dovetail. This is the way I'm doing it. You know, use two same gauge pins or pieces of drill rod or a couple drill bits, and then you can use a caliper if you want this way, but I find that it's not super accurate. You know, you can get a little bit of error, so I like using adjustable parallel, and then just come in with your mic and measure it. And then once you get your number, you know what to do. So what we'll do is we'll start from the center. That's what I like to do, and then I'll move over, say, you know, chew off, say 50 thou, and we can come over here, chew off 50 thou, and get a measurement, and we kind of know how far we got to go each way. That way it works for me. Some people may do it differently, but keeps me from having the dovetail move on you. You know what I mean? Because if you know where your center is for your block of your work, and if you take off equal amounts, and it's going to stay in center. You know, if you don't, and let's say you just start working off one side and you cut a lot here, and you realize you've overcut, well, then you're going to have to, you know, take off less here, which means now your whole dovetail is moved over, if you kind of get my drift. So that's what I'm going to do. I already got it zeroed out over there. So let's get started and throwing some chips with my Randy Richard dovetail cutter. So I've made a couple passes. You can see the dovetail is starting to form. I'll get a little footage there. Once I make it over through that pass, I just move over. To my measurement. Lock the table, and then we just go in. I just rinse and repeat. We'll take a measurement here soon once that dovetail forms. Well, we're getting close, so at least got a decent dovetail formed. We'll go ahead and take a measurement, see where we're at. I think we got a ways to go. Oh yeah, we definitely got ways to go. No, we got probably at least about almost 200 thousandths to go, so half of that would be 100 since we're taking off each side. All right, I'll continue to chew away.